Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights brings together stories from the world's most notorious creators of horror. Select nights September 14th through November 3rd in Universal Studios, Florida. Face terrifying haunted houses, including Netflix's Stranger Things and more. Oh, that sounds awesome. Plus, experience sinister scare zones, outrageous live shows, and some exhilarating Universal Studios attractions. Learn more at orlando.halloweenhorrornights.com/crucible. That's orlando.halloweenhorrornights.com/crucible.
Crucible. No, not Crucible.
It's not Boozable. It's Crucible. You say it in a funny voice if you want, but Crucible. Crucible. Okay, so I haven't seen. I only saw the one GIF you guys posted.
So he's a
hamster.
Yeah.
That was experimented on the moon, like Winston. So Winston lived on the moon with this hamster, and they're both scientists. I would say that hamster is more of an engineer.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, can't just have a freeloading hamster. When I was a kid, I had a hamster, and he was in a ball. And then he escaped, and he just lived in our walls from that point on. We'd hear him scrabbling around like in the walls by my bed at night. And we'd catch little glimpses of him peeking at us through the vents. And I assume we eventually died in those walls somewhere. And he's got a grappling hook. Mine didn't have a grappling hook.
He escaped from the moon, so he's a little bit more adventurous than your wall hamster.
Is it weird to think that you had a pet that just decided, you know what, you don't own me anymore. I am free. I am my own animal.
I'm going to live in your house. I like it here.
Look, I can stay, but it's my choice, not yours.
Yep. You're not putting me back in that cage. Okay, hamster. Sure. Follow-up question. Has anyone ever spent any amount of time with a hamster ever and not just started calling him Hammy? No hamster name has ever mattered in the entire universe of hamsters because all hamsters just become Hammy after like 3 days.
I haven't spent any time with a hamster.
Oh, bro, you're missing out.
They're so fluffy.
Okay, this is gonna be expensive.
Yeah, the Overwatch jar overfloweth.
It's overflowing. We can go buy a copy of the game now. We did it.
Yeah, wait. What was all the money in the Overwatch jar supposed to be for?
Candy?
We're buying a hamster.
Okay, that's it. May you live in our walls forever, Hammy. Hello, and welcome to Crucible Radio. This is your show for all things Destiny 2 PvP and only hamster-related things from Overwatch and only a little bit, because we're just not going to mention the new hamster?
Well, yeah. All right, because our jar filled up and we bought a real-life hamster. It's the show's hamster. It's Crucible Radio's hamsters. So Birds and I live fairly close. We're going to switch off weekly. Swain, if you want this thing, you're going to have to come get it because I'm not flying to Philly with an animal.
Can you ship a hamster?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you guys got to figure out a way to get it to me. Like, it's not
if you ship it in a spherical package, does it just run around whenever it gets pushed?
Just like let it out on the streets of LA and hope it gets here.
Yep, it's like if you truly love it, set it free, and if it comes back to you, you know it was meant to be. Or
if it stays in your walls forever, it's just not that fond of you.
That's it. I've got some Kevin, the Chang Nijiak rabbit who lives at our house update. Dude is extremely soft, and he realized, like, I saw him figure it out in 1 second that it's okay to let people touch you on the head because they might use their human fingernails to scratch you, and it's pretty great. We've really got quite a rapport going.
Did you take it to the thing to find out if it has an owner?
Yeah, he's been microchipped. He doesn't have, been checked for it. Doesn't have the chip. Put up posters. Don't have that. I think we've got a setup.
I think you own a rabbit
setup
now.
Arranged. No, because we also have 2 cats, and one of them just wants to be near the rabbit and play it extremely cool and impress everyone with how cool he can be around the rabbit. And the other cat wants to bathe in his blood. Like you can just see the blood spurts in his eyes when you catch him looking at the rabbit. So we're going to limit their time together and get him out of the house.
I hope that we had new listeners this week who just sat through that intro about Overwatch and then heard you say Kevin the Changnesiac and just like quit and just deleted the podcast.
Opting out. I get it.
Well, thank you if you've gotten this far. Like and subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher.
I have to say, I got like my favorite tweet the other day from...
The tweet was from Kevin the Rabbit?
Yup. Who gave him a Twitter account? No, I got a tweet the other day from @Gonzala88 that just said, I'm honestly a little mad that I just now started listening to Crucible Radio. This shit is great. And I thought to myself, that's amazing that there are still people who somehow have not found this show, who, when they hear the show, have the reaction, this is good. I want to keep listening to it. That's amazing. Hope springs eternal. Thank you for listening, listeners.
It's our magical chemistry.
Let's do our listeners a favor for what they've just sat through and talk about Destiny for a little while. How this is about. I've been playing some Destiny this week. I was out of town last week. I'm back, and nothing like absence makes the heart grow fonder. All that. I've been having fun playing Destiny. You guys, how's your week in Destiny been? Bones, how about you?
Mine's been a little tumultuous. I have to say, I've been playing a lot, and we know about changes coming up ahead. It makes me very excited. It makes me want to take a break till then. But the big thing that happened was that my beautiful scuff, the clicky part on the back where I jump, has been malfunctioning a little bit. And, before anyone gets these ideas of like, oh, scuffs fall apart so fast. No, I have 2 scuffs, both of them still functioning very, very well. One of them 2 years old. How many times would you
say you've clicked that button?
Billions.
A trillion times?
And then these are 2 controllers that I Titan skated on for a long time too. So this thing's been great. I love it. But my jump button is getting a little weird, and the paddle's still there. It's just I don't know. It's getting old. It's been a long time. So I've been sticking it out, and I've been using this sort of weird jump. So when I jump, my hop happens, and then my boost happens. Like that's the pattern of jumping, especially when you're warlock surfing. What happens is that I will jump, and the boost happens immediately. So I'll shoot sort of straight up into the air, which is not what I want to do. It gets you really exposed. So I've been doing that for a week, and I finally went, okay, I think this needs repairs. I think I need to stop playing with it, and for the time being, because I'm lazy and I don't want to figure out how to get it repaired, I'm going full-time mouse and keyboard.
Whoa.
Exciting.
So, yeah. And also, to defend my dignity a little bit, I'm pretty good at mouse and keyboard now. Pretty good is meaning I'm not quite pulling the numbers that I would with a controller, but I'm very fluent in it. I can do any raid or strike. I'll just play with my mouse and keyboard just to switch it up a little bit and to, rest my hand if I was playing on a controller a lot or something like that. So I'm fine with it, but where I still struggle is prolonged gunfights for sure. Like, I can get those crispy 4 taps with Dire Promise, and you're like, damn, okay, this feels great. But when the second guy is there, and I'm like, okay, and I start really missing shots, and so my aim is a little weird, and then my movement is still a bit odd. I don't have those perfect, like when I play on a controller, something like Titan, I'll jump, I'll get a little horizontal glide, I'll turn in the air waiting for someone behind me, I'll have switched weapons and reloaded in that time, and by the time I hit the ground, I've turned 180 degrees, I've reloaded, and I'm ready. That kind of movement and all of those happening at once is still a struggle for me, but the weapon switching is finally starting to click, for lack of a Worst pun, but it's getting there. But man, it was tough to just put the controller down and be like, okay, it's over now. But I'm getting there.
Well, okay. I felt like, at least when you're making that transition, that going from controller to mouse and keyboard is a bit of a trade-off in that your aim gets better, and you've got access to some kind of like quick turn maneuvers and that sort of stuff that is harder to do on controller. But at the same time, when you're fluent on a controller, I don't know. I always felt like my movement game just took a real step down. You're feeling okay there. You're moving. You're flying.
Yeah, and that's the part
up and down very quickly.
That's taken a long time. Like, because I got pretty comfortable on at least knowing where my buttons were and stuff on mouse and keyboard almost right away. But I wouldn't raid with it because, like, doing the gauntlet or something, I didn't want to mess up that jump, knowing that's where I could falter. I have no problem killing as many ads as I usually do, but it was just that sort of thing. So it's really just like, that's the true metagame of it all, right? Is like getting better at doing everything at once and knowing where you are and knowing a map so well and having such control over your character that you can jump backwards and land on the edge without falling off to your death or something like that. So it's just sort of relearning that part of it. And that's been weird. And certainly, like, my selection of weapons is a bit different because it's harder for me to shotgun and stuff and play up close and do that sort of thing because that's really fast style. So I've just been leaning back a little bit, getting comfy with Dire Promise, which I now use, and my new favorite gun, Polaris Lance.
Really?
Are
you using it in PvP?
Yes. And I thought I was going to come on the show and say, guys, I played Iron Banner 6v6. This gun is great for 6v6. And then I played Quick Play this week before recording, and I'm like, I still like it in fours. And Quick Play is going 6v6 anyways, but it's my new favorite gun. It's a little different than using Graviton. And you know what? Graviton has that amazing, like no fall off thing. You can get some absurd shots, but you can stretch a scout rifle range beyond Graviton pretty comfortably. And on maps like, the one on the Leviathan or the Fortress, right? Like there are some very long lanes where Polaris Lance just started feeling awesome. And here's the thing. This gun essentially doesn't have to reload. Because if you hit a crit, you get your bullet back. And it's just, you could go so long. Like, I don't think I've ever felt so comfortable not reloading a weapon. I'd have 4 bullets in the mag. Say I missed plenty. And then, all right, cool, that was done. I got 4 left, but I see some stuff happening on B. I don't even care. Like, I won't stop to reload. I'll just run over there and start shooting because I know I have plenty for a kill. And with that perfect 5th round, that can be tough to land. Sometimes it's because you have to keep shooting and you don't have time to stop and say, great, I've procced this extra bullet. Let's do something special with it. But you just fire it into the crowd. But basically with that kill, that burn, it takes about 7 good bullets to kill 2 people. That's just the ammo efficiency because you've got 4 crits to get a kill and 3 if you can crit a couple more into the next guy and put that perfect 5th on. And I just found some really fun plays. I didn't have to ever reload in the middle of long gunfights. And I got some funny burn kills. Also very funny. Like, I don't know if they died, but I did remember laughing at a hunter with Wormhusk who rolled and then was still burning. And I was like, just did that a little bit. And it's fun. I like it. The other thing I was going to say about this gun is that the time between critical hits needed to get the perfect 5th is incredibly forgiving. To the point where I was shocked because I would shoot across, I would help, team fire over here, and I'd hit maybe 3 crits. And then I'd stop, I'd run over, I'd cap a zone, I'd stand there for a bit. I don't know, maybe 5 seconds. I haven't done the math, but then someone else would come along, I'd shoot, and I'd get that perfect 5th because that was my 4th crit. And I was like, what? That other fight happened like an hour ago. So you don't have to worry about, it's not like Rampage where it's like, you better fire because if you reload, you're giving up Rampage. It's not like that at all. And I find that to be the biggest benefit of the perk.
Interesting. What are you pairing it with?
Dire Promise. I have officially started using that. I know.
God, you're such a fucking clicky boy.
Yeah.
Click. That's you now.
Yeah, I started using it when we did the Pod Clash tournament on PS4 because I knew I had it there, and I didn't have some of the newer kinetic guns. So honestly, I did start using it on a controller on console, going, this is going to pair well, and I know it's solid, so let's jump into some competitive games. And then it just sort of carried over, and now naturally I'm on mouse and keyboard, so of course it feels good. But I use that, and I use Polaris, and I'm trying my best to learn. I love the EP SMG, so trying my best to practice that with mouse and keyboard, but gets a little all over the place, just starts shaking violently by the bottom half of the magazine on an SMG. So that's where I really have to work on my aim.
Yeah, a little squiggly.
Try it out, folks. I gave it up. I said this. I was like, this is the new hotness. This is the sleeper. It's going to be really good in 6v6 because there's always another guy coming around the corner when you just got done shooting someone and not having to reload. I mean, think about that. Dire Promise has 11 in the mag, unless you use the other perk, which I think gives it 13, which is so consistent. It's triple tap, so you'll get bullets back if you've got your shots. And then you've got Polaris Lance, which gets a bullet for every critical hit. This is the ultimate, don't reload loadout. And that's really appealing right now in 6v6.
Well, all right.
You're welcome. Secret revealed.
I feel like this is going to be one of those things where it's going to be like, yeah, okay. And then 3 months from now, I'll be talking about it on a show. And it's a little embarrassing, but that's just kind of how I operate. So I don't believe you at all.
Well, let's think of
I don't know why you're lying to me right now.
Think about it like this, Birds. I didn't believe you at all when you started saying you like single shot grenade launchers 4 months ago. And now it's on PC,
right. Satisfying one.
All I see. So there we go.
Yeah. Swain, what about you? How's your Destiny week?
So, like Bones, I played a decent amount of Iron Batter. I didn't have to do a lot because I got all the ornaments the first go around. So it's just more, I wanted to get a Warlock helmet and a couple other things. It's definitely no faction rally. The faction rally this week is quite the chore going in and out of lost sectors. But I would say I had a moment probably middle of the week last week where I tilted really. I got as close to tilting as I've gotten in a long time, to the point where I was just angry, and I did something that I was pretty proud because I realized it in the moment. I was like, oh man, this is not going to end well. So I just turned off my computer and went to bed instead. And I know that sounds really easy to do, but there's definitely been times in the past where I would just push through that feeling and either would come out the other end feeling better or worse off and just dig a hole further in my enjoyment for that night. But I really, really did appreciate it because it wasn't there was a bunch of things happening. My aim was off. I must have been tired. There was something else going on that's just kind of making me angry off to the side. It's probably some work stuff, but I was just going into it with a bad mindset and just really off to begin with. So recognizing that and not forcing myself to play was something that I really, really have worked really hard to be able to realize. So that happened this week, but I got back into it and I'm feeling really good. Greenie is currently working on a montage for me because I spent a bunch of time editing clips over the past 2 weeks. So
I can't wait to hear. I just want to see the first 5 seconds of it. You'll leak the first 5 seconds of it, right?
He keeps it pretty hype. Yep.
Okay.
But other than that, no, I just I long for new stuff to come along because the meta is what it is. It is, and I'm definitely in one of those loadout ruts where I'm just playing what I always play. And there's 2 loadouts that kind of center around the meta guns at the moment. between Vigilance Wing and the Traveler's Judgment sidearm, and I always use Silicon as my power ammo. But the other way around would be like Dire Promise and Graviton, because Graviton's so good. Mm-hmm. And I'm working on the catalyst for that, so almost there.
Speaking of catalysts, I started loving Polaris Lance, and so I went to the raid to just grind out that masterwork, which is, a lot of standing in one place and shooting for a while. I did that for like 45 minutes, and then like, all right, let's go use it in PvP now that I've got the masterwork. Add a little Firefly to it. And the first game, I get the Jade Rabbit catalyst. And I'm like, come on, no. I want to use this scout.
No.
So we'll see when that one happens.
I hope they add a thing where you can just like pick one catalyst that's the one you really, really want to get, and they'll just give you a little boost in the odds, like just for that one.
Like a Zur item.
Yeah, just like a little something.
That'd be kind of cool.
Just give me a bump.
Yeah, right. Like once people have got the catalyst they're going to get, and we're all moved on to some new exotics. Like, hey, I can wait. Just give me the things that I want that you had to grind to, but don't make me do any of this work. Just give it to me. I just want it. Let me buy it. Can I buy a catalyst? I'll just pay it. I'll just buy a catalyst. It's fine. Microtransaction me. It's fine.
I think there should be a piece of armor that coincides with every exotic weapon that it functions like a masterwork perk and makes you look and identifies you as someone who uses that weapon and loves it. That'd be cool. Great idea, me.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think if you use one gun a lot more than the others, you should be more likely to get the masterwork for it.
Birds wants a catalyst so bad.
I do, and I'm hoping I'll just. I was waiting for you guys to ask me how my week in Destiny was, but I guess I'll just segue into it myself because I will say I've certainly been using a lot of Risk Runner. Well, so I don't want to talk about Risk Runner. I'm loving Risk Runner though, and I feel like that there's some maps where it's like, all right, I gotta play Graviton. Like if we load into Vostok, it's like, I gotta do it. If we're gonna win, I just gotta use stupid Graviton. And then there's other maps or other game modes where it's like, yes, okay, I can play what I want to play. And my go-tos are just Risk Runner and Crimson. Risk Runner more so. I'm kind of having a weird identity crisis with my kinetic right now, trying to find a good kind of longer range thing. I was liking Steady Hand, and I've been using Battle Scar a bit, but still trying to figure that one out. But I've been having a real identity crisis with the power weapons because it's like I got my Aura Wings down. I can pull it out whenever I need it, but it's just boring. And it's like after a while you go like, I'm not enjoying this. Certainly the other team is not enjoying this. Let's change it up. And I find myself kind of doing that Bonesy thing of just alternating gun after gun after gun. I was playing with Prolium for a bit. But what I've found is I've really, and thank you Fallout for this, I've really locked into the shotguns. I have got a pair of shotguns. So they both hit the check marks. I talked about this a little bit last week. Got a deadpan delivery. I like it. It's that high impact. It's got full choke. It's got accurized rounds on it. And then also I started using it for PvE. I wanted one of those fast firing ones with full choke. So I picked up Deicide. This one is got moving target on as well. So when you aim down sights, you get that boost to target acquisition, aim assist, as we say. And what I've found is that I really am enjoying them both in PvP. And even when I'm locked into a shotgun sort of play style, I've been playing All Titan recently. I love it. But I find myself switching back and forth between them based off of what the map is. And what the game mode, like, am I going to be fighting a lot of ones and I just want maximum range? Are there open spaces? And so I'm going to be sort of figuring out, how often I'm going to encounter people in tunnels. Am I playing banner as the sixes? Am I going to be going into rooms where it's going to be point blank and I just need to unload fast? And I just love that, like, I've got a weapon type where I use in the power weapon slot where I'm actually using different guns instead of just the same one. I the deadpan delivery, when it comes to just one hit kill potential, is definitely the better gun. But I really am liking this fast firing shotgun. It's an interesting play style. It's super fun, and I think a little more forgiving if you're shooting people in the air. And also, mine is bright yellow, and it's just a treat to look at. I don't know why I knew I needed it to be yellow from the beginning. I don't know why it makes me so happy, but it is, and it does. And then I also read the TWAB today, and I said, "Holy fucking shit, guys!
God damn,
not wasting any time. God damn! Oh man, this TWAB. Should we just let's start at the top of this list because we're gonna have to talk about the bottom one for a second. We're seeing some big playlist changes. Supremacy out of quick play. It's now a rotating one. Good.
Okay.
Goodbye, Supremacy. Yep.
Definitely a lot of people happy with that.
I just, I've actually find myself kind of enjoying it a little bit more than normal recently because I've been playing with shotguns a lot and they lend themselves well to it. But to trade that out for getting Rumble as a full-time playlist is, well, it's just great. I like it.
I was curious about Supremacy at 6v6. Now that it's in the rotated weekly stuff, that almost makes me more interested. I think that's a good way to do it. Like, okay, 6v6 Supremacy. We're all going to be up close. We're going shotguns and melee. Let's do it. I think that's cool.
We've also got the, quick play moving up to 6's banner style. I don't know how I feel about this. Actually, you know what? I'm ready to make a take. I'll fucking deal, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I like casual 4s. I like, I feel like we almost need a new weapon balance for a lot of our current loadouts to make sense in 6s. Those single shot grenade launchers are just like, they're just too risky in 6s.
Yeah.
It makes rockets more powerful because you're more likely to get people clumped up, and I'm just sick of rockets. Sniping seems riskier. I mean, yeah, there's going to be more people running around in places where they shouldn't be, but you're just going to get closed on that. I don't know. I would have liked to have seen it come as part of Forsaken maybe, and, with a likely some kind of balance patch and new weapons and chance for a new meta. And I guess it stirs the pot, but I like casual 4s. I don't want Iron Banner all the time.
See, what I think in rebuttal to that, Birds, I also, I'm not the biggest fan of it, and I'll deal, obviously, but I think it'll bring more people in. Just give me more people. More people playing the playlists. We'll have more people branching out to the more competitive playlists, and it'll just be overall good for everyone. Same with bringing back permanent Rumble. There's a lot of solo players out there that just want to play Rumble all the time.
Yep.
All the time.
Yep.
Rumble.
There's nothing
24/7.
like starting your night off by playing a quick play and you're like, okay, I'm warm. And then going into a Rumble and having your very first match be one of those real tense nail biters, and you come out and your heart's racing and you're like, okay, I'm awake now. All it takes is one Rumble to wake you up a little bit.
Yeah, I think Swain's point weighs really heavily right now, where I'm in the same spot where it's like, all right, in a perfect world, I don't like 6s, but right now I think it's what the game needs. I think it'll freshen it up. I'm gonna say that Iron Banner doesn't stand out too much to me in this new world of 6v6 being around. And I know that power is supposed to count moving forward, but I don't know. I've never noticed that being a big deal. It's just more of a, okay, you level up your PvP stuff. I don't know. So I guess it's just a matter of how appealing is the gear and stuff like that. And maybe Season 3 Iron Banner really doesn't do anything for me right now.
I just, the banners have fallen on unfortunate weeks. I just want that hand cannon. I just want the hand cannon with snapshot on it. Just give me that one.
You got some grinding ahead of you, Birds.
No, I'm close. I guess it's not like 4s are going away altogether, and the place to be for 4s is going to be comp now. And Well, that's okay because, wow, we have got a big change from our current glory ranking system to this new one. This is the real, the old HFS moment, if you will. They're changing the matchmaking. It is no longer the standard skill-based matchmaking that's, with their algorithm and the team and all these things that they're doing. It is now ranked matchmaking. So you will play people at a similar rank to you.
Thank God.
Thank God. This one I think is, I think this plus the quality of life change of changing the way glory loss streaks work, where each consecutive loss still decreases your rank points, but the amount it goes down decreases with each new loss instead of increasing, which is good because, don't punish me if I happen to have more than one loss in a row. But it just makes so much more sense. It does. The idea that you're going to start your grind at the beginning of the season not playing everybody because we're all at the same rank, but instead playing people who are in the same boat as you. And that's going to get more and more focused and more narrowed down and more exclusive and sweaty as you increase in that rank. Well, that just makes it a lot of sense. That's going to sort people into the rank that matches their skill.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because you're going to run into people that are pretty darn good no matter what.
This is true
in the beginning because maybe there's someone who just hasn't played and they're still really good at it. But it is very nice. It's gonna make getting out of those lower ranks a little bit easier because you'll be like, oh, I'm feeling like I'm on a roll. We got a good team chemistry going tonight, and nothing can stop us. Yeah, it'll get me to jump back in and grind it towards my Redrix.
Yeah, it just feels better on all levels. I mean, you can more confidently go into solo queue and, still a disadvantage, but at least you know that your teammates are not just some poor sap that wandered in or the team that you're going to play against all has 3,000 glory points already. I mean, there was just no conceivable reason to do that. Or there still isn't right now. I mean, these changes haven't gone through, but it's going to feel better. Currently, there's no indication of where the skill is because really you could sort of just play the system and wait for that 1 or that 5 and 6 to pop up on your searching number. So, you're not playing a group of 4s. It hasn't told us who's really the best. And it hasn't told me where I'm at because the matchmaking was all weird. So I am excited. And I think, there's a concern that, well, anyone at 5K glory points won't have anyone to play with. It's well, not really, because now people will finally come back and work up to that. And there will be people right there in the middle who can now push towards the top. I mean, there's going to be someone to play.
And this is one of those things where it's, there's got to be a downside somewhere. If you are at the very absolute top of the heap in the comp playlist and you go into the comp playlist, you should expect and feel like you deserve to get to people at your same rank. That's what ranking systems are supposed to do. For the person who goes in and has 200 glory points and is like, I'm matched against someone with 4,000. Why would I do this? This doesn't make any sense. For that same person, you can't go into glory already sitting up at the top and hope you get some low ranking guys for you to stomp. I mean, sorry.
Well, I mean, that's like any other ranking system. You're going to not only experience a long wait time because it's going to match you with someone fairly, but you're also going to play people around your skill level, and you're going to go into that knowing that I'm not going to, we're going to have an easy one. No, it's you're going to play against another team that is good as you, and it's called comp for a reason. And there's going to be parts where you get stuck in a rank, but you kind of deserve to be in that rank, and you're going to have to claw your way out and really make like make the most of it, like improve your gameplay, improve your team play, there's going to be a lot of room for improvement in that. Like you'll be able to look around and say, oh, this is where I suck right now. And how can I make it better so that I can go up a rank? And that was always the appeal of ranked playlists, like clawing your way to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I love the shape it gives to the season as well, right? We don't have placements. It's a grind rank. You're supposed to start at the bottom no matter what, grind your way up so you can get all the treats with each step of the way. But there's this arc to the season now where there's still a race to hit that top rank before anyone else. And there's a Valhalla period right at the beginning of the season where the only people who have made it to the very top that you're going to get matched against are those people who have really earned it. It's going to stretch that grind out a little bit too, because it will be kind of harder to matchmake there. But for those players who aren't at the top of the heap, I think this is really just it's just a more approachable system. You can start off at the beginning with everyone else, but at the beginning of the season, you're going to be playing everyone because we're all starting at the same rank. And then over the course of the season, it gets easier and easier to jump in. People will be sorted. People who have made their way up in the ranks are now going to be out of that initial pool. And you can kind of more safely do that climb. If you want to save it for the last month of the season and know that you're going to be able to go on a real tear at the beginning and not really slow down until you sort of hit your skill level. That I like it. I like it as somebody who has trouble committing to a super serious major grind and who doesn't like, playing something where I want a predictable game and I want to win and just not get stomped because, that this is who I partied up with in my team. I like it. Good change. Kevin Giannis, good change.
Did we mention the streaks yet?
We did, and I think it's great. I touched on them briefly, but I think these bear a mention of their own.
It just feels better. We were talking about that earlier, off podcast, obviously. But when there's something like it just you were saying, what was the word? Like, incentives to play or de-incentives, I guess is the opposite. Yeah. And like when those exist, it's harder to convince people to come play. And I like this one. It sort of says, hey, you're kind of sucking right now, but it's all right. It's not going to get worse.
It's going to get less worse, right?
Yeah.
If you are having the worst night of your life, but you are committed to, hey, I'm solo queue, I'm grinding this out, that you can say, look, I have lost 20 games in a row. And it cannot possibly get any worse than this. I'm going to lose my 21st game and go down just a little bit. I'm going to lose my 22nd game and go down a little bit. It doesn't make you feel bad after your first loss and concerned after your second. And I clearly have to stop, or I can't play with you guys anymore. We're cursed. We're going to lose. Quality of life. All right, anything else on the TWAB? Oh, yeah, we got the whole collections thing. Like, fucking A.
Delete all your shit, folks.
Delete everything. And it started tracking at the beginning of Warmind.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I actually didn't do my big vault clean until after Warmind when it was clear it was going to become necessary. And I deleted so much stuff, and it turns out it's still there. It's still there. All those ships I deleted because I was sick of carrying around all these dumb shit. How many I erased so many sparrows because I just figured, I only need 3, right?
Yeah.
I only need 1 each of the good one. I deleted all those, and now I can go get the one that makes flowers, and it's all pretty, even though I didn't have a good roll on it. It's fine.
Beautiful.
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 Wait, they have sparrows, right? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah. Good. I mean, I'm not going to ever go get them, but it's good to know they're there. I am so psyched for the idea of just having an empty vault. Like literally there's no gun in there unless it's a masterwork that I've fallen in love with.
Oh, I'm going to make so many masterwork cores now that I don't have to just weirdly hang on to that gun I don't use that often.
Like maybe I'll use the masterwork version. Maybe.
Yeah. No, this is huge. I think this is with the comp changes and look, it's a PvP show, but we've been dreaming about just legendary weapon and armor kiosks since the beginning of D1. This has been a long time coming. It's great. And there was that whole thing with the economy of it. So it's like you buy it back using the thing it dismantled into, which now means, hey, if you want some nice shader, it's bright dust. But if you've got a bunch of bright dust shaders that you don't like, you can essentially just convert them. You can unlock a shader and then put it where you want to go. And you don't have to spend all your fucking glimmer applying them. 5,000 glimmer.
That's nice.
I'm addicted to shaders. Come on.
That's like low key, like my favorite thing coming with Forsaken is this collections thing. Like a visual in-game version of Destiny sets is going to be amazing. And I'll be able to like look through it and be like, oh, I need the chess piece from Titan. Let me go get that. Like, it's going to be so good.
Yep. Well, and it's great. I mean, I think, they've embraced the fact that we want to grind to get the thing, to say that we've got it. We don't ever plan on wearing it. We're not ever going to use it. Just fill in that box for me in case I decide I need it for an outfit at some point.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this has been a fun one. Should we
let's get to this interview.
Yeah, we got a little interview action. Second half of the show, as we do from time to time.
We've been known to have a special guest.
Don't act like we don't have special guests from time to time.
But before that, we have to get a word from our sponsors. Hey, listeners. Yeah, I know you just showed up in the middle of the podcast, but if you haven't joined Stitcher Premium yet, now's the perfect time. Stitcher Premium gets you completely ad-free episodes of hundreds of shows like Comedy Bang Bang, WTF with Mark Maron, and How Did This Get Made? You also get 21,000 hours of exclusive content, new exclusive originals like Marvel's Wolverine and Issa Rae's Fruit are launching every week for Stitcher Premium. If you love podcasts, you are missing out.
Are they for real? They got a Wolverine podcast?
Yeah, it's exclusive, man.
What does he talk about? Is it like an interview show or something?
It's like a comic book, like a audio
radio
show.
Play?
Yeah,
is he doing the Mark Maron thing?
No, it's more so like
comics each week.
Wolverine sits down with Barack Obama.
Hey, I don't remember anything from the past 25 years, but you seem important.
It's like an audio book.
Dig it.
When you listen to ad-free episodes in Stitcher Premium, your favorite podcasters get paid. Help support your favorite shows and join Stitcher Premium today.
For a month of free listening, go to StitcherPremium.com and use promo code Crucible. Crucible.
Goodbye.
Stitcher. Is that how we end all of our
Goodbye.
sponsors?
Listen to this interview.
Musical break.
Special guest, T1 Riot.
You guys liking this stuff? This is Ruinizer. If like Crucible Radio was going to have a fight scene in a nightclub, this is what we'll be playing in the background. This is heavy. Go check them out. It is ruinizer.bandcamp.com. You spell it Ruinizer. Yeah, you'll figure it out. Go listen to them. And hey, if you're a musician and you would like your music featured on Crucible Radio, just send us an email. Send us some tracks. crucibleradio@gmail.com.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. And this week we have a return guest. It's been a while, and we are very welcome to have him back on the show. T1 Riot, welcome to Crucible Radio.
First question, how much are you selling your account for with all the strike catalysts on it?
Oh, jeez. I mean, are we going by like the hourly cost or?
No, permanently. I want to become that.
Can Elon afford your account?
Might be in the market.
I I have to say, yeah, like watching your stream and seeing you actually grind out those strikes, like, and not miss a minute of it. Really, I've made my peace with knowing I'm not going to get a lot of those strike catalysts. I need to not know what it looks like that clearly.
Oh man, yeah, it's something. It's feeling like prestige nightfalls are 1 in 100 something. That's just for like a fire team drop. Then, it's you and 2 others. So I had a couple of times where we get one to drop, but it doesn't go to me.
Oof.
Well, how many are you at right now? Which ones do you have and which ones are you still chasing?
It's funny. It's like with all the strikes, I still only have 2. I have Risk Runner and Wardcliff. Those are the 2 so far. I've got a number from 5, 4, 3.
That really kills me because I want that Risk Runner catalyst so bad.
It's nice.
And it's not going to be. Well, so how does that one play? Can you feel a difference with that?
Yeah, definitely can. So in terms of like damage drop off, it gets like a plus 30 range stat bonus on it. Also just feels stickier as well as far as if you're using a controller, for instance, doesn't matter if you're on console, PC, controller, it's just going to be a little bit stickier when you move your reticle over them. You can definitely feel that out at an extended range, and then mouse and keyboard, you don't feel that as much, but it's the damage drop off that really helps there. Just because the 900s aren't really known for having a lot of range on them.
Oh, tell me more about the Risk Runner catalyst that I likely will not see. Okay, no, I'm cool. Okay, so what else? I mean, I found maybe some of them to be a little underwhelming. I mean, definitely a difference, but maybe not worth the grind.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, what sticks
out?
Man,
of just the strike catalysts or any of the catalysts?
Just in general.
All of them.
Just in general. Oh gosh, all of them. So I haven't used it in a while, but the Darcy catalyst has been surprisingly good. It's just a stability bonus, and it's not really something I ever thought I would experience with playing with mouse and keyboard, but it really helps when I don't have to like continuously drag my mouse down and pick it up and drag it down, trying to control that recoil pattern. That's been just a nice little benefit. Thankfully, that's one of the just kill anything.
Yeah, no, I finished that one surprisingly quick, which was a welcome addition. I know that you've been going back and forth between keyboard and mouse and controller. How are you doing?
Yeah. Slowly losing my sanity on that one. That's funny. I can so I always started out with controller, right, and just console for years and years, and D2 is really where I started to pick up playing on PC for any kind of gaming. So I've noticed that my mouse and keyboard skills are improving, and that's awesome. But I've also noticed that my controller ability is kind of deteriorating just a little bit. So
it's tough when it's so beautiful and it's also so easy to use in controller.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Just sit back, watch the world, and super high definition, tons of frames, large field of view. Just the comfort.
Oh yeah, we went back for a little fun tourney on PS4, and it was an adjustment, a reminder, remembering what we left behind.
No, it really is.
So with mouse and keyboard, have you felt like you've made the cut over? You're in that mindset now. That's your main, or if big try hard moment, would you switch back to a controller?
So I think for like the really, really serious try-hard moments, I still do just fall back to controller, just more used to it. But pretty much everything, like I'd say 85, 90% of my play at this point has been mouse and keyboard, at least for the past couple of weeks, month or two.
That's pretty good.
PvE things, but like the world's first Fire Stars, for instance, swap back to a controller. I needed to know I had that locked in. Oh my goodness, that raid.
Yeah.
We were in for a surprise. I think I made the right choice.
I was watching when you guys like slipped up on the one that would have gotten world's first, and I just like, it broke my heart. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that one still hurts. I think we got him to final stand twice before anyone got him there once. Just couldn't close it out. Almost there.
Well, just because I'm going through a similar thing right now with my Scuff kind of finally giving up on me, and I'm playing more mouse and keyboard. Did you find any specific changes to settings or like key mapping where it just kind of clicked or like really felt better than something you had been working with when you first started learning the mouse and keyboard?
So I put all of my offense abilities on my mouse, just everything there, except for my super, because I couldn't figure out which button really wanted to be on, so I kept that one on F. Because most of the time it's just going to be like me pop a super and just F, failed it with that one right into the wall.
Yeah.
Do you have your movement abilities, your jump, your crouch, all that on keyboard?
Yeah, that's all on keyboard. Just the regular old WASD and then space for jump. I want to say shift for crouch, shift or control. I just jam my pinky down there until something happens, and it's perfect.
It's not a bad plan. Okay, well we've got a week happening right now. We've got our second faction rally, and
future war call.
They really this time at least.
Please, just once.
I hope they get it.
I really do. Yeah, I mean, there's still the dialogue line that we've never heard for them winning, and that's been, I would assume that's been there since base game. So hopefully, plus that sidearm. Oh my goodness, that sidearm.
Yeah. We just all need to agree. We need this sidearm.
Mm-hmm. It's been a very strong push from you and like Ishtar.
Yep.
Lots of people.
There's been some very serious campaigning this week for the first time.
Yep. Got to rally and organize.
How are you enjoying the faction rally grind? Like, it's definitely something. Like it's established, but it's certainly a grind.
It is, yeah. It's interesting. I find there's more of a grind to just doing the ornaments themselves rather than, and certain ornaments, obviously, like the helmet is just get 50 renown, right? The class arms, I'm pretty sure all just do some certain lost sector that they name. But I've liked that it's been about 10 hours or so, and that's even just kind of going at a more leisurely pace if you're still trying to get tokens to get your rank 50, your 1000. It's been nice. It's been cool. I've definitely enjoyed actually having to go out and hit up lost sectors for a reason, and then also making them a little bit more difficult with the renown, I guess, reductions that you receive and whatnot. Like that's been pretty cool.
Every once in a while, we'll break it up, and I'll go scan those things that you can scan, like in the different areas.
Right, exactly. And yeah, Grimoire there and bonus tokens. Yeah, it's been nice. I had it down to like a soloing on a hunter as long as I had the full gear set, and then I'd swap to Raid and Flux for the lost sector because full lost sector done with one super is kind of nice. Even on 5 renown.
Yeah.
It's just heroic public event, hit your 4 renown because you had your full set of gear, get 5 tokens from that, and then immediately hop into a lost sector, get another 8. That's if you don't even do a patrol. Hit up to 5.
I find like when you're grinding with people, the full set of gear can be like a real like Gallarhorn kind of separator. Like, are you guys good yet? You still need another
renown, right?
It's fine. Yeah.
It's almost been faster than it solo.
It's fine.
We can wait.
Yeah. Just means I gotta have some stupid death at some point during this grind. I got a buffer there while I wait for you. We also have doubles this week, and I was watching you grind some doubles.
Played a little bit today, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the game mode in its most current incarnation. Are you enjoying it?
For the most part. So doubles is kind of like the reverse survival where it's round based, but it's whoever has the most kills at the end of the round is the winner rather than having a stockpile of lives where you kind of count down from there, go to knockouts. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually pretty happy that they took out the like hyper reduced ability cooldowns. Just because if I remember from that was Crimson doubles, right? The Crimson Days playlist. Oh geez, the skip grenades. So it's nice not getting skipped every like 5-10 seconds or so.
Sorry, that was me. Sorry. Yeah.
Guilty as charged as well.
Yeah.
It's a little too strong.
Yeah, I'd kind of want to see that playlist in a 4 setting. I think that scoring system at least, because I think like it has the round based intensity of like a trials match, but I love that the goal is like do more, right? Like you sitting in the back does sort of the total opposite for the actual objective of the game, and I'd love to see how that plays out with like some really competitive larger teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was the Crucible Labs playlist, was it not? I want to say.
Yeah, I guess it was. And I didn't get to jump in it, so now I just sound like a dummy. But yeah, like that sort of score-based thing, I mean, I'm all for an objective occasionally, but something about that mode really plays a little quicker, and you don't feel like you're like really sitting between rounds or anything like that. And the rounds don't really last terribly long
2
either.
minutes,
so.
Pretty sure. Nice quick rounds.
Just the breather I need in between.
It's also nice that they had the delayed power spawns in there as well. So notice with doubles, you win that very first opening engagement, and it's not just, oh, okay, power's up in 5 seconds. They don't have time to contest. There's usually 2 full fights that happen in the meantime. Right. So if you don't start off solid, it's okay. You still have a chance to get power ammo and take control from there.
So, I mean, aside from, winning your fights and getting that eventual power ammo, I mean, any advice or sort of tips for how to best play this doubles playlist?
Probably going to hear some eye rolls from the audience, but play with your teammate.
What?
Surprise, right? World's first strat. Tier 1, by the way. Yeah, it's it helps out. It really does. And it doesn't even mean necessarily to stand directly on top of them, because with how popular, something like Graviton Lance is, that afterwards void destruction. What is that called? It's with a C, I think.
Little goobly things.
Yeah,
the little goobly things.
Cosmology? No.
Yeah, that's the word.
Is it cosmology? Okay, yeah, that cosmology ability. That deals a good amount if you really are just next to someone. Usually hits you for over 100. And it just body from there, and that's the fight. Just playing back, making callouts, using your grenades effectively. I've recently swapped over. So I normally play Dawnblade, and I swapped over from using firebolts to solar grenades. Just better laning control. Pop it in a doorway, pop it on the heavy, keep people away for a little bit of time at least.
Yeah, I've always been tempted by the firebolt, and I love that sort of immediate, actual solid amount of damage. But the solar nades, just putting them on the floor. I think I've just been playing some Iron Banner a lot lately too, and someone's going to step in it. So I'm always sort of flopping between those two grenades.
Mm-hmm.
Is there? You mentioned Dawnblade. Is there a particular build you think works well for doubles?
So I had been messing around earlier with Ophidian Aspects as my go-to exotic for it. A 1-5-10 build. Mm-hmm. Just because I couldn't get rid of the 1 mobility. I think it was on the Ophidians. Then 5 resilience, because I believe that's how it's set up for Graviton to be able to survive, like head body.
Right.
I think is what it is. Makes it harder for Graviton to kill you. And if that's the case, then that's perfect. And of course, a high recovery to get back into the fight.
Yeah, I noticed you abusing the Phoenix Dive quite a bit, especially in 2s. I mean, it seems like the effect of it is so magnified.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it certainly is. And it's a little bit strong, especially with the tie to the frame rate and being on PC and having a pretty good frame rate for it. There's like on Burnout, for instance, if you're under like A or C bridge in the center, I can jump up there, hit my head, Phoenix Dive down, and gain roughly 90 to 110 HP, like every single time. You do that on console, and you gain 10, 15, maybe.
Yeah, explain to me how the frame rate works. I'm just enjoying my PC frame rate. How does that affect the Phoenix Dive?
So essentially, to my understanding on it, is that they tied the ability to your frame. So on console, it looks like it's based on the height that you jump and you fall down, and apparently that's tied to how many frames you get, because you only get 30. It's a little bit more lined up. I'm having a hell of a time trying to explain this. Trying to think who posted it initially. It was a while back, but once I realized that, it was just, every about 5 seconds, get out of the fight, dive down, perfect. Ready to go again. It's my own little worm husk, essentially.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's kind of like Warlocks have been sitting on that this whole time, and now that it's a revive or recovery meta, it's definitely it's nice to be like, I've known about that for a while.
Exactly. Makes it harder to play on the other subclasses, but
and I think I tried to give the top tree a shot once they tweaked that a little bit, but something about bottom tree Dawnblade, that 2 Min of Flame, is just really kind of works with my style, and it's probably the fact that I get shot a lot and need more health.
I mean, you get the tracking on your Dawnblade itself. You get the just massive amount of super energy back.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon, even in doubles, you get 3 kills out of your super, just because you can zip across the map when you want to, really whenever you want to. Even on bottom tree, you don't need Icarus Dash to help control that. Then, of course,
you mentioned Ophidian Aspect. What did you feel about those the exotic changes we saw previewed about a week ago now, particularly the Karnstein armlets? Is that something that might take off or convince you to take Ophidian off?
I mean, at least give it a go. Certainly to try it out. Can you remind me fully what the Ophidians, or not the Ophidians, excuse me, the Karnstein armlets do?
Well, yeah, because currently I had to go pull them out of the vault because again, something I'd not touched in a while, and I agree it's confusing now. It says they have all these boosts to resilience and mobility, and there's target highlighting, and I didn't understand target highlighting after a melee. That felt very confusing. So they're getting rid of all that, and now it's just an instant heal on melee kill, and then grants continuous healing for 8 seconds. So it's kind of like that sort of take Devour and put it on whatever subclass, I guess. So I've been playing a lot of Void lately, and it seems like that would kind of fit very well with a Dawnblade build.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Remove melee hit effects, but then melee kills now instantly heal you, then grant continuous healing. So
yeah, I mean,
like a healing rift effect, essentially. Just being able to move around.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. It's probably a similar sort of recovery speed. It actually makes me think Top Tree Dawnblade might be nice, since there's that 100% accuracy after melee kill, which is so hard to proc right now.
Yeah, just a little bit. And especially because, I mean, if you go in melee, you're normally going to get punched back. And that's like, 90 damage right there. If they're running feedbacks, another 40.
You're supposed to be in the air, but really weak. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Sitting duck there. But no, that could be a game changer there. Sure, True Vanguard would be happy to try those out.
So, Riot, me and you got to play some Warmind before anybody else did together.
Yeah, we did.
But
it's fine. I played Warmind too now.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not a big deal.
I was going to address the fact that I missed the first day, which was the Gambit day. I know you got to play some Gambit. And I kind of feel like it's like perfect for, like, I've watched you stream a bunch, and I feel like it's like right up your alley. Is that a good assessment?
Yeah, you could probably say that. Yeah.
It really does like blend PvP, PvE like perfectly.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to see that. Because I mean, hell, even before I started playing Destiny, just a decade ago, even I always wanted to have like a player versus environment, but player versus player experience. It's why I played games like RuneScape, for instance, way back then, just because still do a little bit. But why I got onto it initially is because I could have that combination. And that's what really drew me to Destiny, is what it has. It has cool PvP, it has great PvE, and now we get both at the same time. Really looking forward to playing more of it.
Is there something about Gambit that you noticed when you first played that you're not seeing people give a lot of like traction to? There's something that you really enjoyed about it?
Just different strategies in terms of when I'm trying to think like what it was called in the game, but essentially it's you kill enemies, they drop skulls or something along the lines, crests. Then you plant the crests, and you can do up to 15, and then every checkpoint along the line before you summon in the boss at the very end of it produces an enemy for the other team that they have to fight before they're allowed to return more of their crests. So you're able to like stack those monsters together against your opponents. If you have like, let's say 3 people on your team all turn in like 10, 15, 12 at the same time, because it hits those second and third checkpoints simultaneously. So it can slow down your opponents from being able to, some of their, I think it was their prime, I want to say is what it was called.
So it's just like stacking these.
Exactly. It's stacking in a way to prevent your opponents from being able to score, essentially, and progress their game. Yeah, little road buttons along the way.
In mind games.
Then plus there's that, and there's the invasion aspect of it. Oh my goodness, that is fun.
So one thing I had a question about for Gambit was, are you seeing, were you seeing as much like ammo drop as you would see in PvE? Like you were never like, sometimes I'm starved for ammo in PvE, but like for the most part, I'm feeling pretty whelmed when it comes to ammo. Were you seeing the same in the Gambit environment? And was it like carrying over when you would like go through and use the PvP aspect?
The only time where I ever felt that I was kind of running low on reserves was when I would try a double sniper or a double shotgun or sniper shotgun loadout, two quote unquote like special weapons.
Something taxing your special weapon ammo.
They pick up less ammo when you get a brick in the first place. So could kind of run low on it that time. But even then I would run out. I'd be out for maybe 15, 20 seconds, melee an enemy or two. right back into it. Or if you die, I want to say I was spawning in with ammo. Pretty sure I did.
I mean, this was something we were talking about last week about sort of, what the emerging meta is going to be for Gambit, in that you have to, be prepared for a PvP encounter, but you also just need to high volume dispatch PvE enemies. I mean, did you find that playing with sort of the weapon slot changes and in this particular build that you got to play, I mean, do you think you'll still kind of gravitate to a D2 type setup with, 2 primaries and a special? Do you see yourself going with a D1, primary special heavy or some combination there? Where do you think you'll end up?
When it first launches, I'm definitely going to go for the more of the D1 setup with it. Try a sniper, because sniping was really nice when you're invading. Just, getting highlighting targeting, even though you're only in for, I want to say 30 seconds, but having essentially just wall hack vision to be able to identify where people were at, and if they're busy trying to DPS their boss. Well,
so it's automatic that it indicates where they are, right? Like I couldn't quite tell if it was just when you are on the other side, you automatically see the enemy.
Yeah, unless I'm misremembering it, it was pretty automatic. I don't think it was necessarily through a wall, but
you get audio cues for invaders too. It tells you where they are, right?
But you know that they're coming for you, and you just get to
exactly. It's time to start looking around. Yep,
that's pretty funny.
Predator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and the invader getting a little bit bonus health, and I don't think it was bonus damage either, but it was still felt pretty tanky, no matter what subclass I was on. You do die to a direct rocket. Found that one out the hard way.
Good to know. Did you get a chance to play with the new supers? Any first impressions?
I got to play with the new Void Dancer. I don't know how else really to describe it. I missed the name on it.
I like that.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
It is so reminiscent of Blade Dancer, but it just felt better, actually. I'm not sure if it can necessarily go to year 1 Blade Dancer, just because it had the access to quick draw and blink on top of that, whereas this one doesn't exactly blink around fully. But it was strong. It one-hit people. Melees were registering. It lasted a good amount of time. The subclass had it was really unique in that it was a hunter subclass where the melee it wasn't damage over time. It wasn't like the melee itself increased damage, but it was almost like a melting point effect where it was like a debuff essentially.
Yeah, you guys didn't get to see the tree, right? Like you kind of had to figure it out, feel it out for yourselves.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for free.
Some hidden gems still in there, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you had to compare this new super to an Arc Strider super, for example, right? They're both roaming supers. They're both kind of fundamentally melee based. What would you say is the big difference in feel between them?
So I'm not sure if this one's necessarily faster, but what I've noticed, at least with Arc Striders, when you're trying to maneuver around, you're either doing a quick hop into a swing to propel your momentum forward, or you're just doing your somersaults over and over again. Whereas this one's movement was much more similar to how Blade Dancer was, jerk forward, jerk forward, jerk forward kind of thing, as they knifed in, knife in, knife in. So I don't think you necessarily have to use your dodge to close the distance. You can just keep swinging. It'd be its own, I guess, own way of dodging damage just by using the melee attack itself.
Did it have that kind of that sort of in-air movement aspect that Blade Dancer had, or at least in one of its incarnations, where you could cover a lot of ground by using your attack in air?
So I'm trying to recall back to that. I think it was the
same.
Let me
ask you some very specific questions about a super that you got to play for half an hour.
That happened 4 months
Several
ago?
months ago.
Early, April, I want to say. Mid-April.
We're very desperate to play Gambit.
Yeah.
I am again. I really am. Yeah, I think it was kind of like the function of how Arc Strider is. You jump in the air, you can swing once, you can't continuously swing forward kind of thing. It wasn't like a sword fly, as we've seen in Warmind with Escalation Protocol.
We've got Gambit. We've got the weapon slot changes. There's 2 more big items coming up. One in the near future, one tied to Forsaken. Let's talk about this ranked playlist change. So in the TWAB today, this was a pretty meaty TWAB. They discuss
yes, it was.
Changes to matchmaking.
I just looked to the heavens when you said that.
I mean, and sure, a bunch of stuff around ranks, opening up Valor rank from the other playlists, some join in progress, protection for your win streak, all that. But the big item here of players being matched by their glory rank instead of their sort of, internal matchmaking score. So similar to a lot of other games, similar to Overwatch, I suppose in Destiny World, it's kind of similar to Trials. What do you think about this change? What do you think the effect's going to be?
Well, hopefully more people playing it on PC.
Oh God, please.
Yeah, it's population's a little bit low. I can still find games, which is honestly awesome. And it's really only like 2 hours out of the day. That 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Pacific is where it's kind of on the low end of things. But it would be kind of nice as well. It's at the moment it's that progression based system. So even though you have your glory rank, you're matching off a hidden MMR. So I was I want to say it was late Brave, maybe early Heroic, matching up against people at like 5,500 Legend. So I had a little bit of work cut out for me when making my way up to Fabled for my Redrix. So it's going to be, I think it's actually going to be better for early on players because sure, you're playing, but there's so many more people at those lower ranks, at Brave, at Fabled, at Heroic, even at Mythic, to find matches. Only downside I could potentially see is if you are in that Legend category and there's not another team of people in Legend searching. I would hope that it would eventually kind of lower that bracket down to allow you to match up to somebody else. Or excuse me, in that case, I guess it'd be matched down. Then likewise, if you're in Mythic and there's not other people in Mythic searching, but there's a team in Legend, maybe allow that match to occur just so you don't have to get that one error code when you can't lock into a game.
Yeah. I mean, I have to assume if you've made it to Mythic, the difference in skill between Mythic and Legend is probably got to be a lot less pronounced than just the difference of sort of how much time each team is put into the grind at that point. Like you're probably in pretty decent shape in Mythic.
I'd agree on that. Yeah, most certainly.
Well, and there's also the aspect of the fact that this is a change being made, kind of in the middle of the season, and a lot of players aren't really going to experience it until next season when it resets and we're doing this grind over again.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, free time to test it up, see how it works in the first season, get to maybe make a couple more tweaks, get all ready for season 4. Plus, honestly, I'm really surprised to see this happening. I really didn't expect rank to get changed at all for the season. It was just going to be untouched, and
I feel like that was like having talked to Kevin Yanas before. I feel like that's just like he felt really bad that it came out a little wonky, and he wanted to like write it as quickly as he could instead of waiting a whole season.
Mm-hmm. No, which is awesome.
Definitely a pet project for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Mad props to Kevin.
It does feel a little nice too with such a big thing coming. If this was season 2 and it's like, well, let's make changes before season 3. Okay, that's fine. But with Forsaken coming out, so much is happening to the game that it's like you said, I was kind of surprised too, but it's really nice to know that like get that one new thing really settled, really starting to feel good. Before like a bunch of other content is piled on top of us. So the timing is nice. And I like that I'll get a proper amount of time to try this out before I'm grinding Dreaming City or whatever else I'm doing for the next year.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are you looking forward to most with Forsaken?
Well, definitely the new raid. And then I guess Forsaken just covers the first DLC, right? We're not going into the expansion pass on that with the raid layers. Yeah, the raid stuff,
I mean, if that's something you're into.
Anything new raid-wise, always up for a new challenge. It's just right there, that first blind run-through, that's my money's worth right there on anything DLC-wise. I'm happy for it.
What are your guesses on this whole Dreaming City? Like, it changes over time? Do you have any, like, theories yet?
So I'm wondering if it's going to be more Leviathan-styled, where it's, there's 4 set activities, right? There's Callus at the very end always, and then it rotates the order of Gauntlet, Pleasure Gardens, Royal Pools.
But like lots more bosses because they said it's the most, right?
They did say that, yeah. And they also clarified that they don't count daughters of the boss. So that would be King's Fall, would be the raid with the most at 3, I want to say. War Priest, Golgoroth, Oryx. Yeah. I mean, technically you could look at Wrath of the Machine if you wanted to count Vossic Phase 1, Vossic Phase 2, Axis 1, Axis 2. It's 4 separate encounters. Right?
That's a lot.
So essentially we're getting 4 to 5 bosses at bare minimum. That's exciting.
Amazing.
Well, best of luck to you on day 1 of Forsaken.
Oh, thank you.
We've got another big change coming with Forsaken that's got some PvP applicability, and that is the return of random rolls.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh boy. I mean, this is a big one, right? Like, this is something at a minimum that's gonna give players who are prepared to grind it out an advantage. But what are you expecting?
I'm hoping for kind of a midway system between what we had with D1 and then what we've had at least at launch of D2. Because in D1, it was just drops were really, really rare, and there was certainly like tiers of good drops kind of thing. Like if you got an Eyes Luna, you could have a good Eyes Luna, but it was never like that Eyes Luna you really wanted, the sure shot, rifled barrel, Icarus, hidden hand, or rangefinder, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having it be just an incredibly rare drop rate. Like I did thousands of games, and I have still never gotten an Eyes Luna that had rifled barrel on it. And that might be a little bit too much, especially just because there really is a difference between like a good Eyes Luna and a great Eyes Luna. So hopefully with random rolls, it's either they're dropping like candy as they kind of currently are, and with legendaries at the moment, right? Like complete a competitive game, you get a legendary. Complete a game of Trials, you get a legendary. Engrams pop out pretty much everywhere. Or if they reduce the drop rate on legendaries, perhaps having like the House of Wolves reroll style. I've got a ton of materials and consumables that I can burn through right now.
Yeah, give me something to do with these legendary shards.
That was definitely the feedback I gave when we were at the summit. I was just like, I don't want to do this forever. Never got my Eyes Luna. It's like, just give me a path. Like, I'll grind for a path.
Exactly.
Whether it's like House of Wolves or whether it's like some hybrid version you guys think of that I have no clue what it is. But there was a part of me the other day when I was like grinding out and I got like a legendary engram drop. And I was just like, I don't care about this thing. Like this is just a chore. When I get to the tower, I got to decrypt these. So I would love, like, part of me likes how much they drop now, and I would be okay in some way with random rolls if I'm still getting this like plethora of engrams and shit.
Mm-hmm. No, I'd agree on that. I mean, with legendary engrams at the moment, like if it wasn't for the Masterwork cores, I had just previously been deleting them straight out of my inventory because they break down for 3 shards.
I've just been saving gunsmith materials.
Yep, stacking them up. That's true too. Yeah.
Why?
I feel like a big part of it is going to have to do with what perks are available in each slot per gun. Mm-hmm. Like that was one of the problems with the D1 system is that basically any gun in an archetype had basically the same set of perks to choose from, and so we didn't have that thing where it's I can mention a gun and it tells you anything kind of meaningful about it except for what its base stats are. But also I definitely went broke re-rolling a gun where it's like, okay, it's a 1 in 2,048 chance that I'm going to get the roll I want. There's 3 other options, but I've got 3 or 4 perk slots and 16 different perks that can show up in each one. Seems it could be a long shot.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, one last topic we got to cover. We've had private matches for a while now, and we're starting to see the tourney scene take shape again in D2. Is there anything there that you're excited about?
So there's going to be this tournament upcoming from the DTR tournament scene. Farcog, Peter, $2,000 prize pool. I want to say it's 8 teams in total. And Tier 1 will finally have a roster in one of these.
Wow.
Decided to throw our hat into the ring. So myself, Gigs, Lunar, Rojo. Gonna give it a go. See how bad I get stomped.
What are your plans for like subclass and everything? What are you going to use?
Still kind of waffling on that. For those who don't know the tournament setting rules, essentially it's no grenade launchers, no rockets, no swords for the third personing. I don't believe emoting around corners is permitted. You know, and that's just going to pop up in the kill feed if you do it. So just kind of gotta have that agreement on it. Exactly, the honor system. Yeah. So there's that, and then for threes you have to have one of each class, and then for fours I believe you have one flex slot. But I'm not too certain whether or not it allows for, let's say, if you wanted to run 2 Arc Striders, for instance. I think if you wanted to have 2 Hunters, it would have to be 1 Arc Strider and then 1 Gunslinger. You couldn't double up on a subclass.
Sure,
gotcha.
Aiming on playing Dawnblade? Are there any other classes you're considering?
I wish, but
you got to fill.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be filling in on that. Pretty sure Gigs is going to call Dawnblade morning of. So time to start practicing other things. Hey, if he plays that better and I can play something else better than he could potentially, like, hey, I'm down for it. All for the team.
After Dawnblade, what's your go-to?
If I'm on Warlock, generally Stormcaller. It's
what if you're playing a different class?
A different class? Oh geez, Sentinel. Those overshield melees are just kind of silly.
Yeah,
love them. Find them with sense of subs, and you can actually one punch. I didn't believe it when someone told me the first time that they gave sense of the buff and you could one punch people. But nope, over 200 damage melee.
Yep. Isn't that an exciting development?
Yeah.
That happens now.
Yep.
And then finally, any thoughts to loadout? I mean, this is the most sweaty tryhard situations. What's your loadout going to be?
So at the moment, the rules don't allow for duplicate exotics on a team. So that means if your team is running a Graviton Lance, that is one person, not all 4 of you. You can't have
it's 2 of those. A lot of responsibility with that Graviton Lance.
Exactly. You got your role players there. So I'm not too certain whether or not I'll be one of the exotic pulse users, or if I'll be potentially just running around with a Red Earth Claymore because, oh man, I love that gun. That one's fun. You're
clearly going to use the Risk Runner just to show off the catalyst.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Intimidation tactics.
Yep. I mean, yeah, that one's allowed. If I played Storm, I could grenade myself technically.
Oh man.
Rock that up. Run it was a new Warmind campaign exotic for Warlock. Varric's Brow or something like that.
That ugly thing on your face.
It's so hideous. But energy weapon kills increase your grenade recharge rate. And it's actually it's kind of been fun running around with it. So proc your grenade with wrist, or proc yourself with your own grenade to activate Wrist Runner. Get elemental weapon kills. Proc your helmet. Get your grenade back. Keep the cycle going. Been fun running around in fours with that, even in PvE as well. Probably a little bit better in the player versus environment side. Still something.
Well, we've come full circle because I'm feeling sad that I'm probably not going to get that Risk Runner catalyst again.
Yeah. Only what?
You just need to do like a strike every day and just hope like you get
one strike a day.
There you go.
One strike a day keeps the catalyst away.
You're the despair, at least.
Yeah. The despair. Yeah. All right. Well, folks, if you want to support our boy Riot here in this tournament, that's happening on July 21st and 22nd. We've got some old teams that have been around since the D1 days, names you recognize, a couple new names, new squads coming in to compete. I'm very excited to see that. And of course, T1 as well showing up with their roster. So we're really excited, and best of luck to you in that, dude.
Well, thank you. Should be fun.
Yeah.
Just one.
And if people want to watch you in the meantime, before that, as you practice those Risk Runner plays, where can they find you?
I am on Twitch, twitch.tv/T1 Riot. All one word there. Usually I'm on a 2-stream-a-day schedule, so 11 a.m. Pacific to about 3 p.m., and then generally 7 p.m. Pacific to about 11 p.m. Just get a nice little afternoon break.
Very nice. People like a man with a schedule.
Yeah, it's been helpful for me, too. Keeps me from just grinding out for 15, 16 hours of prestige nightfalls. Keeps my sanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, it's not too late to go get that ass Luna.
Exactly.
You can do it.
Not too much just yet. I can still get. Oh, what was that helmet? Wildfire was the shader from Wrath of the Machine, or not the helmet. Excuse me, the ship.
Oh, the Nano
Phoenix. That's the one.
Oh my god.
Too late.
Those were the days. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Good talking with you.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, you're at the end of the show now. So, hey, go check out crucibleradio.com. I don't know if they'll be ready by the time this episode is out, but we've got some new gear coming. Okay, so Birds is confirming, which means I better get to work. We got some new gear coming to the store. They're really cool designs. They're going to be on more than just shirts, but the shirts are great. Everything's great. These are looking really awesome.
Can we let's talk about them? These deserve mentioning.
Yeah. Yes. Almost one of them needs mentioning.
If you want to wear a shirt that says Crucible Radio on it, but you want it to look all extra cool and like, oh man, those are good letters arranged nicely.
Yeah, like something you'd literally see on a sign in Beverly Hills.
Yes, we got the shirt for you.
Yep. If you want to see, if you want like a fun printed tee that is, and I don't even wear printed tees. I'm getting one of these. I cannot wait.
They're so cute.
It just evokes everything fun and wonderful about summer camp. That shirt you found in a thrift store for a summer camp you never heard of that you wore to death that one summer in high school. Well, we got one of those, and it's now established in canon. Our Crucible Radio summer camp is naturally being hosted at Twilight Gap. Please always take a buddy when you go swimming, and don't get shot.
Yeah.
Don't go into the woods.
And the final design.
Yeah. The last one is just wear it.
I think I'm going to do this one as a mug, I think.
I'm putting it on a shirt.
I had a vision for a shirt, and I gave lots of source material. I spelled out very clearly that I wanted, and Bones took a swing at it, and this came out. And I got to admit, it's like it's good. It's like special. It's unique. It is a certain Bonesy specific art style. It's you struck gold, but in the worst possible way.
A small amount of gold. It is literally gold in that dirt, but you struck it, but that's all there is. I'm very proud of this. I am very proud to say that there's a design that I drew on a shirt with my friend's face, and it looks real good, and I'm buying it, and I don't care if anyone else does. But the other two are great too.
Like, why are you wearing a shirt with
be like,
Swain's
you know
face
what?
on it?
Listen to Crucible Radio.
Shirt. Give me Swain's shirt. Anyways, that's all at crucibleradio.com. Go check them out. And if you happen to not be listening to this, we're going to shill these designs endlessly for the next month. So stay tuned.
Bye. Love you.
Bye. Leave us a subscribe and rate us on iTunes, please. Thank
Apple
you.
Apple Podcasts. They're called Apple Podcasts now.
Yeah, whatever. That thing. Go to podcast, scroll all the way to the bottom.
Go to podcast.
After you search Crucible Radio. Go to podcast. I'm pretty sure we're on Google Play now, too.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Ooh.
We're on Spotify. That's where I listen.
Where
everywhere.
Aren't we?
Rate and review us. Stitcher, all that.
Bye.
Episode over.
Hello everyone, Swain here. You know that Crucible Radio is your source for all things Destiny PvP, and I know you want more than just this video, so make sure to head on over to crucibleradio.com to find all of our past episodes, detailed Crucible maps, t-shirts, and much, much more.